Hey, what's up guys, Victor with PhoneArena here, and what I have today for you is the Moto G5. No, not the Moto G5 Plus, just Moto G5. This phone is not available in the United States, but it will be sold in Europe and in many other markets, and it offers a great value for the money. It's a very affordable, downright cheap phone. So what is it all about and how is it different than the Moto G5 Plus that you've probably already heard of? Now let's find out, starting by the design. As you can see, this is a 5-inch phone, fairly compact phone with a fingerprint scanner up front, pretty sizable bezels, have a very distinct earpiece element on the top of the front side of the phone, and of course you have that metal back with a signature round camera opening. It is a bit on the thick side, but it looks good. Doesn't look particularly stylish, but it looks very solid and is built to last. It looks very tough. In terms of the display and its quality, you have a 1080p display. That's a full HD resolution for you, so you get plentiful sharpness. In terms of color though, the screen, it's actually pretty good. It features a very decent color balance for this type of an affordable phone. You don't have overwhelming blues that are the common problem. So overall, colors look very nice, pretty lively without being overly saturated. So it's a very nice experience in terms of the display that you get here. But what we're looking for is an overall quality. So let's look at the interface. Good news is that we start with Android 7.0 Nougat on board. This is the latest version of Google's operating system. You see the swipe up gesture brings up the app drawer, which is conveniently located here and easy to access. You see that circular widget and the familiar notification drop down. Overall, the experience is very similar to stock Android experience, with some slight deviations that are mostly for the good. You have that typical Moto gestures, and you have the very stock look to applications. It is a bit bland, but apart from that, gets the job done very well. The phone feels surprisingly fast as well, doesn't stutter at all. It's equipped with a Snapdragon 430 system chip. Actually, that's one of the weaker parts of the phone compared to the Moto G5 Plus, which has the much more powerful processor under the hood and is much more power efficient. This phone here gets the job done, but you got those nice gestures here. You can have this double chop gesture for the flashlight, you have this double twist gesture for the camera, and all those are nice conveniences that add up to an overall clean and satisfying user experience. And you can customize more, have this one button navigation, for instance, that we never quite got used to. You can just turn off the on-screen buttons and use the fingerprint scanner, swiping it left or right for multitasking and for going back. This is not the most convenient way to move things around. It gets the on-screen buttons out of the way, so it frees up screen space, but it's not all that useful in long-term use. At least that's our experience. Now, this is not one phone for gamers, but if you want to play basic games, it gets the job done. As you can see, we're playing some games here at perfectly smooth 60 FPS, so no worries here. This game ran plenty fine, and it's also quite entertaining, so take a look at how it runs. So you get to see this here. And switching over to the camera, we'll talk in more detail here. As you can see, the camera is looks pretty big in terms of physical size. Now looks can be deceiving, so we're looking for actual image quality, and this is the interface. Actually, it's a very clean interface, one with very few options, and we don't like the fact that you actually have to tap on menus to unveil secret stuff. Not everybody will do this, and it's harder to find stuff this way. In terms of actual images, the quality is fairly good and good daylight, but when the situation gets a little bit darker, you can see that definitely this phone is not on par with the flagships out there, and it has some issues with white balance and exposure, and the selfies also are not among the best looking ones. And of course, this has something to do with the model, but not everything. Check out this sample video here as well. Looks pretty stable. That's good news. Stabilization is important for video. Let's also try and zoom in and see what's the maximum level of zoom that you can get. And that's the zoom level that you can get. Now zooming all the way back out. Now, in terms of call quality, the Moto G5 is also a good phone, but not a great phone. You can see some slightly muffled voices. It's not perfectly clear as we're used to some more expensive phones, but not terrible either. You can also take off the back and have easy access to the battery to replace it. And battery life is rather mediocre. You get a day, but not much more. And while in this segment you have phones that last 2 days easily, which is definitely a great feature to have. The Moto G5 doesn't have it. So what is the reason to own the Moto G5, guys? Well, the reason is that it's cheaper than the Moto G5 Plus. Now in Europe, the Moto G5 Plus costs around 300 euro, a little bit less, while the Moto G5 comes at around 230 euro. And this price difference for some will be worth it, for others not. But definitely the phone provides a decent overall experience, and if you have the money, definitely go for the more expensive Moto G5 Plus. It's much better in terms of battery life, it's better in terms of camera experience, it's more future-proof. But if you don't have the money, the Moto G5 will also do. For a more detailed review, make sure to go to PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.